Everyone, welcome to a Yogi's Diary. Today's diary entry is about hip openers or asanas and positions that help to make our hips more flexible and more mobile. So I'm going to talk about my top 5 favorite hip openers. I'm going to start with the first one, which is called Malasana or the Garland pose, for which you need to stand up. Turn your toes outward, bring your heels inward towards each other. Bring your hands into a prayer position, and then as you exhale, slowly squat down. Now there are a few things that you need to watch out for when you're doing this position. The first, make sure that the heels are firmly on the mat. Now everyone can't get their heels on the mat, so what you can do is take a huge towel, roll it up and place it under your heels so that you are still connecting the heels to something, which is the towel in this case. The second, keep your hands together and use your arm strength to gently press your legs outward. And the third, and the most important, keep your back really straight and lifted as if a hook in the top of your head is lifting you up. So these are the 3 things that you should watch out for in Malasana. Alright, coming to the second position. My second favorite position is Balasana or the child's pose. Just that this time we're going to do it with our knees open. So it's called the wide-legged child's pose. So my knees are as wide as the mat. My feet are together at the back. And then I'm slowly going to walk my hands forward. Now remember, Balasana is a relaxing position, so you can do it at any time. And it's great for beginners because you don't really have to do much and it's accessible to everyone. So once you bring your hands out all the way forward, bring your elbows down, and then bring either your chin or your forehead, whichever you're more comfortable with, onto the mat. Now again, everyone can't really walk out with their arms all the way there or because their forehead doesn't touch the mat. So what you can do is stack one fist on top of the other and then place your forehead on the fist and relax in this position. So even this position serves the same purpose of helping to open the hips up. So this is a very easy pose to do and you must practice it. It's pretty easy to do. Alright, the next position I'm going to take you in is called a low lunge, which then leads to Anjaneyasana. So you come onto your hands and your knees and then take a big step with your right foot, bring it all the way forward next to your right hand. If this doesn't happen for you with ease, you can crawl your foot forward or just lift it and bring it all the way in the front. Now you can stay on your fingertips over here, and this particular position is probably my most favorite. My students would know that because I include it in every session that I teach. I think one of the reasons is because I have very tight hips and hip flexors, and it feels good for me, so I always add it into a session. Now what this particular position does is it works in a small muscle group over here called the hip flexors or the iliopsoas, and the iliopsoas tends to get very tight because we sit a lot during the day, so there's a lot of contraction that happens but never an extension. So what this does is it helps to open that muscle out, and what you need to focus on while you're in this position is think of lowering your thigh as close to the mat as you can. Now an easy way of doing that is, if you're here, think of moving your knee and your foot as far back as your body allows you to, and then hold this position. Now in this position, your front knee should ideally be at a 90-degree angle, but there are many people who also like to do it with their knee forward, which is also fine, but I just feel that when you repeatedly do a particular position, and particularly this one, it can put a lot of pressure on your knee. So you want to do it in a way that you keep your knee secure and safe, and this is one way of doing that. So the choice is yours, but I would prefer this, and you hold this. Now in this position, there are various arm positions that you can do for options and variety. The first is that you can take your arms up for the typical Anjaneyasana, which is hands together and you reach back for a backward bend. The second one is with Garudasana arms. So you basically wrap your arms around for the eagle arms, and you can either arch the back or just stay there or go forward. The third is take your arms out to the side and you can add a bit of a twist. So whatever your arm position, your hip flexors are still getting a great stretch. The fourth one you can do is take your arms behind, interlock your fingers, reach your arms to the back edge of your mat as you drop your head back. Again, a backward bending asana. So these are your options for Anjaneyasana or the low lunge. The fourth position we're going to talk about is the lizard pose. So for this, you're going to bring your foot forward, but this time not to the inside of your hands, but to the outside. And the further out you go with your foot, the better the stretch, the more your hip opens up. Now, there are various options even in this one, so you could very well be just over here in this position, or you could come down onto your forearms. So, of course, as low as you go, the more you'll feel the stretch, the more the hips open up. So this one especially is really great for the groin, the insides of your hips. So this is great for that. So you can stay here, or you could even go all the way down onto your arms and relax over there. So depending on your flexibility, you have a choice of where to keep your arms. But the simplest and the easiest for everyone, I think, is just staying on your fingertips and over here in this position. If you want to add a little bit more of a challenge or more of a stretch, you can turn the sole of your foot inward, and that helps to open up even further. So these are your 4 position. The 5th position is taking the same leg and going into a pigeon pose. So if my leg was over here, I'm going to take this foot across to the opposite side of the mat, bring my left foot close to my right wrist, my left knee close to my left hand, and I come into the reclined pigeon pose or Kapotasana. Now from here, you can either stay in this position. This works on the outside of your hip joint, of your hips, and you can just arch, or again, variations to your arms is to bring your arms down, come down onto your forearms, or further down all the way, bringing your forehead onto the mat. And then you come back up. So those were my 5 favorite hip openers. Let me know which are yours, which one works for you the best, what difficulty you face or you don't when you're practicing these. Till the next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep practicing.